What's up? What's up? What's up? Alright, so I had to wait till I finally got the kids down and sleep. Oof, it's been a day. But I was just sitting here thinking, and all I can hear, the house is finally quiet, all I can hear is the wind. It is so loud. I mean, it is just whipping, howling, beating the siding, and just, that's all I can hear. And I'm just thinking about Jesus when he was on the boat and he was asleep down below, and the disciples were freaking out and they were so upset that he was asleep. Like, how are you sleeping through this? Because I know me, when I get in my bed, that wind will wake me up because I'm a light sleeper and I wake up a lot. But I was just thinking about Jesus, and I was thinking about how he just had authority over every situation. He never let things get him out of character. He always stayed in his composure. I want to be like that. I need more of that in my life. But anyways, I thought that I would read you guys one of my blogs, since I know a lot of you guys don't read. Shame on you. Okay, so this one's called The Closet Prayer. So I took this quote. I was just trying to find a quote about a closet in general. But I thought this one was interesting. It said, "When I traveled around the country visiting women in their own homes and talking to them about their closets, every woman lamented about settling for many pieces in her closet." And this is from Jennifer Hyman or something like that. So basically, we all do it. You know, we go to the store, we pick out some clothes, and we get it home and we don't like it. And we never wear it, and it just stays in the closet. So this lady decided to come up with a Rent the Runway, and it's basically where you can post your closet online and you basically share clothes with other people. I guess they pay to rent an outfit or something from you, and you ship it to them. Or I don't think it's called a shared closet. I don't know all the details. It's really not the point of the story, but I thought that it's so much more than just clothes. We settle for a lot of things in our lives that don't fit who we are or who we are becoming. And it says that our closet is no longer a place that we just want to store random things that we never wear. And so I chose this because, like I said, it stands out to me. I don't know why, but often I get in the spring cleaning mood and I will start tackling those hidden places. It probably stems from my need to control the chaos of life. The things that I have been through have caused me to be hypersensitive to mess. I desire a great deal to bring order out of control situations. When I was a small girl, probably 9 or so, I wrote a prayer that my granny found, and one day she told me what it said. It said, "God, please help me to get a hang of my life." My granny had tucked that little prayer away and she showed me. And I thought it was a very special moment. For such a young child, I knew that my chaotic life and my upbringing was not normal, and I desired greatly to separate myself from that, to try to change that. But in all reality, I found that I ended up attracting a lot more of those things into my life, to be honest. And so it became a weakness because I kept trying to fix people that had no interest in being fixed. So basically, my kids in a large black trash bag, they hate to see me coming because I'm constantly going through things and getting rid of things. I go in those places, I tackle the mess. I just want things to be orderly and neat. I often say out with the old and in with the new. I feel that cleaning out our spaces often leads to more contentment. We give away what no longer serves us, and we create space for new things to come in. Never hold too tightly to anything. I can speak many lessons on this. There's a scripture, Luke 17:33. I use the ESV version. "Whosoever seeks to preserve his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life will keep it." The things that we get too attached to can become a dangerous place to be in when we are desiring to serve God fully. The desire to control outcomes, clinging to worldly possessions, can lead to a deficit in all reality. We can find ourselves putting integrity on the back burner and living a life that is actually self-centered. I can speak on it because I've been there. Jesus isn't saying go and be a martyr necessarily, but to hold on to our possession, but not to hold on to our possession, status, and lives lightly, as all of it is fleeting. We cannot take anything with us when we leave this place. There was a time in my life that I was wanting to go in a different direction. I didn't really know what I should do, so I started writing in my journal like a list of options. I was living in this apartment that I really was just uncomfortable with, and just me and my son, and I just felt a sense of God was wanting me to move on from that place. And so I didn't really have a foolproof plan. Sometimes when you're following God, He only shows you little steps because He doesn't want to freak you out with the big steps. And so I said, okay, God, I'm going to show my faith in action. I went into my closet that night and I started packing things up. As I was sitting on the floor in the closet, going through my things, I was singing a worship songs to God and just spending that moment with Him. And eventually I ran out of songs to sing, and then this phrase came into my mind: bridge over troubled water. I thought, well, that's a weird song, but somehow in my spirit I knew that it was a song. And so I got up, stopped packing, and went and got on YouTube, and I started searching for the song. I found the song. It was a song from the 70s by Simon and Garfunkel. I have never heard of these strange men at all. So the song was extremely beautiful. I loved it. I was into it. And it was like a pledge of friendship, love, protection. And it just felt like God had stepped into my mess right there, surrounded by all of my stuff in that closet. And He gave me that hope and encouragement. I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, You gave me a song. But I think when you tell people stories like this, I think people sometimes think, well, why would God do that for them? No, it's not like that. God will do it for anyone. It's just about being intentional about your time with God, about opening your heart and mind to the supernatural. A lot of people are so closed-minded. And then so I started packing faster. The song was just like an anthem. I just played it for a few times, and it just pushed me to just step into the unknown, that God will be with me through it all. I've made my bed hard many times, but God has never failed me. He stayed by my side. I think one of the beautiful things about my story, although it is dramatic and chaotic and often filled with a lot of regret, is that I can see God's hand in every single situation that I look through in my life. And I hope that's a place that you can get to, is that you can see God in each and every step, every failure, every mistake, every unknown, every single thing. The life of a child of God has many transitions, and I'm learning that it's a long journey, but one that is of great hope. We learn to surrender, sacrifice, shift our identity as we grow from faith to faith. We learn to let go of our ego, our control, and what we think life should look like. As we age, we find a deeper meaning in just the simple things. We appreciate things much more as we mature. Our true sense of security comes from a deep trusting that things will work out as they should. We do the best that we can, and then we leave the rest up to God. How many of us have those tiny outfits that we know we cannot fit, sitting in the closet saying, I'm going to get back into it. We're holding on to it, and it's outdated, and we know we're never going to wear it. Or what about the outdated thoughts and beliefs that we still carry? I'm not picking on nobody. I'm right there with you. Oftentimes we are trying to maintain a version of ourselves that no longer exists. Our closets can represent our identity. You can tell a lot about a person by the things that they wear. The story in the Bible about Lot's wife, God was removing them from Sodom and Gomorrah. He told them, do not look back while I am destroying this city, or you will be destroyed. What did his wife do? She looked back, and she was instantly dead, done. This act of disobedience serves as a reminder to all of us that we never need to look back at what is lost. And I think it's hard because we go through the moments of missing our younger days, or our more exciting days. But I think as we mature, we get to a place to realize that that's not who we are anymore. We've matured, we've grown, we've changed our mindsets, we've been renewed. And especially if you're a Christian, you start you start going through and you're like, oh, wow, I handled that way differently. I definitely don't do that anymore. You see the growth. And then there's some things that can still be a stronghold, or some things that we still are trying to dabble in, or keep going back to, and God has to work that out of you. And sometimes it's only going to come through fasting and praying, is for that stronghold to be broken, because it has got you. So I've been there too. I'm still working on so many things that keep coming up, keep coming back, because there's something that is in me that's still reaching for that. And so there are things that must die in the life of a Christian. We must die to ourselves and our fleshly desires. When we cling too tightly to things, it shows our lack of trust in God, that He will meet our needs. And God knows that it'll hurt sometimes to let go of certain things and situations. What are you needing to let go of today? I'm learning to let go of many things, and it is painful, but it is worth it in the end. On a side note, when I left that crappy apartment, I never looked back. I never missed it. I was so happy and so fulfilled in the next step of what life could be next. I got better. I got more. I got stronger. My courage was increased. And I hope that encourages you, that you think right now that you'll miss what's gone, or you'll miss that person, that situation, that job, that whatever it is. But in all reality, you probably won't at all. You'll be so focused on what's next. You'll be enjoying the present, which all of us, we need to do that. We need to just live in the moment. I look back at photos of my kids and memories, and I'm thinking, man, I don't even remember half of this stuff, because it was going so fast. Because I was always looking for the next thing, or trying to figure out this or that, or worrying about things that weren't even my problem to worry about. God had already fixed it and already worked it out. But that's my little bedtime story for the night. I love you guys. Continue to pray for me as I pray for you. If you ever need to talk or want to pray, let me know. I'm there. I hope you all have a good night.